Thank you very much for that kind introduction, and I'm delighted to be with all of you on this very successful conference. And I want to thank Sam Yerby. I'm a little biased about the work that he's done because he served in my office, and I've known him since he was a student in school, and I'm pleased to see that he's continued his interest in public affairs. All of you here are commemorating 30 years after the Iranian Revolution, which brought so many of you and your families to the United States. You are meeting, ironically enough, in the 30th Congressional District, no relationship between the 30s. And in this congressional district, which I'm honored to represent in Washington, we have the largest Iranian community in the country. And I'm very proud of this group. It's taken its place as an immigrant group, and as other immigrant groups have done in the United States, and as other Jewish groups have done in the United States. For those of you who fled the revolution of Khomeini, I know it has been years of adjusting, but you and others who have come after you, and even some before, brought with a sense of culture and history and Jewish commitment, an entrepreneurial spirit. You are one of the outstanding groups of immigrants to ever come to the United States. I'm pleased that this conference is going to look at the issue of being involved in U.S. political affairs. I think it's important because in this country, we're proud of the fact that everyone makes a difference. Every vote counts. And to participate in that electoral and political process is something that is available to all of us. When I first ran for office for Congress 34 years ago, I was the first Jew ever elected in Southern California, even though we had the second largest Jewish community in the country. It isn't because Jews weren't involved in politics or interested in public affairs. It was because Jews didn't feel that they should be in the public eye, that they should be in public office. They felt they should be behind the scenes. And I was a little concerned about it. When I first ran, would people vote for me or against me because I was Jewish? And I realized that there are only two groups that notice whether you're Jewish: the anti-Semites and the Jews. And luckily, there were many more Jews in this area. But in the years that I've been in Congress, and I'm now the dean of the Jewish members of the House of Representatives, where we have 26 Jewish members, some from areas with large Jewish population, and many from areas where they may well be from the only Jewish family in the community. These Jewish members were as involved and participated as actively as all other members of Congress, and it didn't make any difference to their communities whether they were Jewish or not. But all of us share a heritage, a faith, and a commitment to the United States and its closest ally, the State of Israel. As you examine getting involved in politics, I'm pleased that many have already been involved in community activities like AIPAC or other Jewish community organizations or the Iranian Jewish Federation. Groups make a difference, and individuals make a difference. We're looking at a presidential election this year, which I think is going to be historic. And it could be decided by a very narrow margin. In 2000, the election was decided by 500 votes. In 2004, it was decided by thousands of votes in a country with millions of people. We don't know what the outcome will be. But it's important to be involved because we care. We care about what we can do in the community in which we live, and the expression of what we do as a community is often through our collective involvement in government itself, whether it's a local government, the state government, or the federal government. Jews have always cared. It's part of our whole ethic. And it's our ethic to try to make this a better world. So I want to encourage all of you to be involved. You can be Democrat, you can be Republican. I prefer you be Democrat, but you can be either one. You can be independent. You can explore where things are going. But in this country, at our national level, there is something important that you have to offer that's unique. As the United States faces the foreign policy problem, which is, I think, number one, of an Iran with nuclear weapons, and as we confront Iran, those of you who speak the language, understand the traditions, understand the people, have a lot to say from which your governmental representatives can benefit. Simply branding Iran as a member of the axis of evil is not a policy. It's a name-calling. And it made me a little uneasy because name-calling doesn't lead to solutions. We need, whoever the next president is going to be, to have the best judgment to confront this very, very threatening dilemma for our nation and for the whole world. And for those of us who care so much about the Jewish community here, the relationship with Israel, the concerns of Jews all around the world, we have to be involved, as we always have been, for Jews everywhere. It is an important part of our obligation. In a few weeks, literally, we'll be celebrating Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. At Yom Kippur, we'll be reading from a Haftorah that will say, what is it that God wants of us? Is it a fast to punish ourselves? Is it the punishment of that day? And the Haftorah goes on to say, no. It's the commitment to be involved in trying to feed the hungry and to clothe the naked and to be concerned about widows and orphans. We can do that through community organizations, through local government, through the national government. And I'm so pleased that this organization, as you look at the community here 30 years after, a revolution that forced so many of you to leave and your family members to leave, can bring together something that we all need, and that is the involvement of all of you. I think you have an excellent panel that's going to speak to these issues. I am pleased with the fact that you're going to hear from some people who are so knowledgeable. And I wish you all the very best at this conference. It's a great conference. It's a successful conference. By seeing all of you, I know how successful it has been to now, and I know, as I looked at the agenda, it's an important conference for all of us. I want to wish you all the very best for this conference, and for Lashona Tova Tikatevu, may we go on from strength to strength. Thank you all very much.